You know, this guy has had many lives in hockey. He was a Montreal Canadiens prospect for a while. He was an original Kansas City Scout. He had some of the best facial hair of the 1970s. He's a cousin of the great Pat Burns. He's a player, not a player agent, but a coach's agent, representing some of the top bench bosses throughout the years, and also helped create a piece of hockey equipment we're going to be talking about a short while. That's probably one of the most important additions, no pun intended, to hockey players' gear in the history of the NHL, up there with Jacques Plante's mask. So today we're going to be talking about the many lives and the curious case of the great Robin Burns. Now, born August 27th, the day after my birthday, 1946, in Montreal, Quebec, the 6', 195-pound left winger played for Pittsburgh and Kansas City in the NHL. Now, again, the lineage in hockey goes deep here because, again, him and his cousin Pat Burns did a lot in the sport, each in their own individual way. Now, Burns is the son of Robert and Eileen Burns. Now, his father was an employee of the Montreal Transportation Commission for a number of years, but at age 9, Burns was diagnosed with osteomyelitis in his right leg. He endured 5 months of the leg being encased in the cast, which gave him the perseverance that he showed in everything he did. Now, following a season for the Montreal Notre Dame de Glace Monarchs, where he became a major prominence among scouts, he went on to play for 3 years with the Montreal Junior Canadiens and another 2 with the Montreal Canadiens affiliate, the Houston Apollos of the Central Hockey League. Now, Burns got a great sense of humor. He once said, in a 10-page sports section, the Houston Apollos were on page 10. You had the Oilers and the Astrodome, the eighth wonder of the world. Burns told Treasure in 2018. Being away from Montreal for the first time, my first Christmas in Houston was a shock. It was pleasant and 70. In Montreal, at the same time, it was minus 20. It was strange to be around a pool at Christmas time. Now, after spending a season with the Voyageurs, Montreal's affiliate of the AHL, he was traded by the Habs to the Pittsburgh Penguins for cash in 1970. Now, most of his time in the Penguins organization was spent with the AHL's Hershey Bears, whom he helped lead to the 1974 Calder Cup by scoring 10 goals and 14 points in 14 playoff games. In June 74, Burns got another big break as he was claimed by the Kansas City Scouts in the expansion draft. He posted his best season with the Scouts, but it was phased out as the team rebuilt for a move to Colorado. In 190 regular season games, Burns had 31 goals and 38 assists for 69 points. Now, following his playing career, Burns and his wife Fran studied polycarbonate and created the protective hockey visor while establishing the company iTech. Now, the iTech shields is pretty well de rigueur for hockey players for a number of years and is often pointed to as an item that has saved players from injury, especially eye and upper nose and what they call cheekbone injuries, which were quite common in the past. Now, Burns was also a coaching agent, representing, of course, Pat, as well as, get this, John Tortorella, Alain Vigneault, Michel Therrien, and Dave King. Now, just to go over his stats one more time, ladies and gentlemen, he put up some decent numbers in Houston with 21 and 12 goals over 2 years. 1970 had 13 goals in 62 games with Montreal. With Pittsburgh, didn't get much of a shot. 15 games over a couple of seasons with only 3 assists. And then he had moved on again to Kansas City in 75, 33 points in 71 games in that campaign, and then 31 points in 78 games in his final NHL season. But his stats with Hershey were just tremendous, especially the 73 campaign, where he had 47 points in 39 games, including 22 goals, and the Calder Cup run, where he played the full season in Hershey, 66 points and 31 goals in 74 games, and 14 points in the playoffs. Now, not sure what the cash value was to trade by Montreal to Pittsburgh, but I would suspect as at least 5 figures. Now, when he was drafted by Kansas City, a lot of people thought the guy was retired, because what happened, his great season in Hershey drew a lot of interest. Some people thought he was going to go to the WHA as well, but But Robin was always discussed by Montreal Canadiens announcers, especially the French one, especially when Pat Burns made the team. And it was kind of a rolling joke. He said, go to Pat, how was Robin making out? The U.S. media had no idea what we're talking about. Maybe thought it was a bird. But like I said, if you watch the old games, they would mention every once in a while about Robin Burns. And the fact was, an original Kansas City scout has a special, what they call residence among people in Kansas City, because the original team did a lot in the community and did a lot to promote hockey, despite the fact he only spent a few years there. Like besides him and Croteau and Wolf Payma and I think Pierre McDuffie was there for a while. There was a lot of popular Kansas City scouts at the time, especially Simon Nollet, the Stanley Cup champion with Philadelphia, because of his Quebec connections. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what we're doing here with our Vintage Sports File podcast on NHL stars past and present, let us know with a like, comment, or subscribe. And don't forget, requests are always appreciated and sometimes tolerated. Have a good day. Bye.